Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John, that's my cohort and commentary Ashton, and this is our NXT review. And me and Ashton, before we went live here, we were talking about how we felt about NXT, and I'll just re-echo my sentiments here. I thought this was a solid episode of NXT. Was it anything, super spectacular? I wouldn't go that far, but was it a fun and easy hour to get through? Definitely. Definitely. I thought the women's triple threat was a lot of fun. The six-man tag main event was good. Drew's interview I thought was really well done, and it got me all excited, my inner Mark for what could be the future. So yeah, and we even got announced in 2 weeks' time that Johnny Gargano is going to be going one-on-one against Fabian Eichner. So yeah, it should be a really cool match in 2 weeks. So yeah, we got a lot of storyline progression in some areas of NXT, some solid matches here and there, and yeah, I can't complain when it's all said and done. How did you feel about this episode, Ashton?
Yeah, I must have missed that Gargano versus Eichner announcement because I don't even have that in my notes. I don't remember that happening, but that's cool. And we also found out, some stuff for next week that should be fun. But yeah, I pretty much really do have to kind of ditto what you said exactly, because really to me this wasn't an awesome episode of NXT. It wasn't exceptional. It wasn't anything special or anything amazing. But it was fun for the most part. There wasn't anything terrible, and it was easy to get through this hour. So yeah, I agree with you completely.
Yeah, I mean, the way I'd really describe it ultimately is it was a harmless episode. It didn't anger me. It didn't do anything where I'm like, why are you doing this? It was just an hour of TV, really. So let's get right into our first segment. Heat of the night. I got no heats tonight, no nitpicks. Again, a relatively harmless hour of NXT TV. What about you, Ashton?
No, I don't think I have any problems with this show either. Yeah, I mean, I might come up with something as we're talking, but right now I can't really think of anything that I would say negative about the show.
All right, then let's keep the ball moving, man. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right into our NXT review. And if I remember correctly, we do open with the women's triple threat: Sonya Deville versus Ember Moon versus Ruby Riott.
Yeah, and we open with this, and I'll go as far as to say I think this is probably match of the night.
I would certainly agree with you, and I was actually going to give you the ball first because what made me smile, because if any of you guys have been listening to us for any period of time, or if you're new, first of all, welcome to your new favorite wrestling podcast. Second of all, I always love when Ashton says, oh, that's a proper figure 4, that's a figure P. What a proper submission's supposed to look like. And what made me smile a little bit in watching NXT with you tonight was you commenting that Sonya Deville had a proper ankle lock at one point in this match, and I like that she actually knew to go for the leg that Ruby Riott was selling. So I really wanted to go out of my way and say Sonya Deville, even though she didn't do too much in this match, what she did, I thought she did very well. And I was just curious your thoughts about Sonya's performance specifically, and of course the match more generally. What did you think of this triple threat?
Yeah, I really enjoyed this triple threat. This was a lot of fun. I felt like most of the other matches were either too short or not really able to get into a fourth gear. So this one really was the only one that I would say is even in contention to be called a really good match. And I would say it was a really good match. As far as Sonya goes, I think there's something kind of star-like quality about her. I would say that she's got sort of an it factor. Yeah. Really, all three of these women have a certain it factor, but I think the big difference is Sonya Deville isn't as polished of a worker as the other two, so she's still like that, that raw marble that hasn't quite been chiseled down yet. But yeah, there's a lot to like about Sonya. We've talked about her ridiculous upside in previous episodes, and yeah, she did pretty well in this match, and I did absolutely love that once Ruby did her dive off the top turnbuckle and did something to tweak her, I believe it was her right ankle. Mauro Ranallo even said, or it might have even been Nigel, one of the two competent commentators said, oh, Ruby, she's got a little problem with her ankle there. She better not let Sonya see that because she's the one in this match that'll go after it. So Ruby knew that too, and she threw Ember Moon into the ring trying to avoid Sonya as much as possible. And then as she was going after Ember Moon, in comes Sonya and does exactly what the commentary said she would do, picks on that ankle, locks it into a proper ankle lock, which the reason I always point out that it's a proper ankle lock is because a lot of the time in the history of the WWE, ankle locks, it looked like the guy was trying to twist the ankle. Like he was trying to turn it in you know, like a rotation, whereas a proper ankle lock, you're pushing up on the toes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what Sonya was doing here. And it was clear that she was doing it like that. And that's a proper ankle lock. And that hurts a whole hell of a lot more. And it's a whole lot harder to get out of than the twisting ankle lock that I'm pretty sure Kurt Angle used to do pretty consistently.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was cool to see. And it's cool, too, because there was this moment where Ruby got to the rope and I was like, oh, relief. But then I was like, no, it's a triple threat. There's no DQ. You can't get a rope break. I was like, oh, shit. So Ruby starts trying to pull herself out of the ring to obviously use like the bottom rope to separate her and Sonya. Sonya pulls her back into the middle of the ring, but she doesn't drop back down into a grapevine. She's standing up. And I said, oh, she's standing. She's going to get hit with an eclipse. And lo and behold, Ember Moon on the top rope comes down with I would say probably the sloppiest eclipse I've seen yet, just because it was kind of an awkward positioning and, you know, she didn't want to land on Ruby, so she had to, you know, make it even more awkward when she landed and stuff. But at the end of the day, she hit the eclipse, and then Sonya rolled out of the ring. So I thought that was interesting, and Ember was able to pin Ruby.
Yeah, that is one thing I will say about this match. I mean, I thought the like ankle locks into the eclipse, you know, even if it was sloppy, I still thought like it was a really cool visual to see to end the match. And my conflict was, you know, this is the kind of match where I feel like you're kind of in a rock and a hard place, because I didn't want Sonya to eat the pin because she has that like undefeated streak, you know, one-on-one. She hasn't been pinned and she's got that MMA background. And, you know, WWE is really eating that up. That seems to be the trend lately in WWE. Like, you know, we love these kinds of people. You know, Shayna Baszler is going to make it big when she re-enters into the NXT picture. But at the same time, like, my heart goes out to Ruby Riott because it's like, we know how good she is. It sucks that she's always got to eat the pin. But I will say, I think it is smarter for Ruby to eat the pin, not just because, you know, protecting Sonya since she's relatively new, but Ruby is a babyface. And I think, you know, when you had your ankle and you were in a submission that long and you didn't tap out and you didn't give up, but it's still so bad that you can't kick out, to me, that generates sympathy. So while it is a tough call, I think NXT ultimately made the right call by having Ruby eat the pin here if Ember was to be the one to win. And yeah, Ember has punched her ticket now to NXT TakeOver Houston. And yeah, just a really fun triple threat match. Probably the best one that we've gotten, you know, so far, because I think it's only been this one and then the one Peyton Royce one. And I definitely think this is the better one. So yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. All right, so after this match, we got to see some security cam footage that caught the Undisputed Era offering Roderick Strong basically a spot. They gave him a shirt, and there was like this like casually friendly conversation going on. And yeah, man, what did you think of this?
I enjoyed it. I like that they're, you know, slowly nurturing the seeds of potentially a Roderick Strong heel turn. I will admit I had to swallow a scoff because you don't return a gift that Adam Cole gives you. You know, like I thought that was very disrespectful of Roderick Strong. Like, here Adam Cole is giving you a t-shirt and you give it back. I mean,
He didn't, though.
Well, but didn't he, though? Didn't he like look at the shirt and then put it back on Adam Cole's shoulder and kind of tap him?
Wow,
Yeah,
I must have missed that.
I think you missed that, bro. Because, yeah, they don't want to fully commit, because commentary even said, like, well, we can't make out how Roderick feels, but we know he didn't, like, explicitly accept the shirt. And I'm just like, man, Roddy, like, if Adam Cole gave me a shirt, like, I wouldn't even feel that my body was worthy to wear it. I would have framed that shit. And you just straight up give it back. So, well, I had to shake my head a little at that. Overall, it was a good segment. I do like the slow burn with Roderick potentially going heel. And if he does, that is such a great catch for NXT, because Roderick's been a good babyface for them, but I think the mileage has kind of been used up for the time being. And I think a heel run, you'll get a lot of mileage out of that. But they're not rushing it. And I appreciate NXT for that. So this is good stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we can move on then. Up next, we had a Christy St. Cloud interview with the general manager of NXT, William Regal. She asks him how we're going to determine the fourth contender for the NXT Women's Championship at TakeOver. Well, at this point, we still see it as Houston, but War Games.
Yeah.
And then the Iconic Duo show up. And Billy wants an opportunity, and Regal says, yeah, you are going to be in the 4th match to determine who's going to be in the women's title match. And she's all excited. And then he's just like, oh, but it's a battle royal. So you're going to be one of like, you know, 12.5 women in here. And he basically just says that everyone who hasn't got a chance to compete yet is going to be in this battle royal. And yeah, she's like, when he says battle royal, her face was priceless. I love the Iconic Duo so much.
They are so good. I love Billie Kay, just that face she made, and then the groan. Oh! And then Peyton Royce just looks at Regal. How could you?
Yep.
I adore these two. You know, it's TakeOver Houston, that fatal 4-way, my heart is going to be pulled in all different directions because you have my bae and Ember Moon, and then you have my best friend that doesn't know she's my best friend in Kairi Sane, and then you have Peyton Royce, who to me is the justice pick, you know, because I've always said like the Iconic Duo deserves better. How can you not root for somebody that's just been so consistently good? You know what I mean? And then depending on who the 4th person is, I may make a case for them too. I don't know yet, but yeah, dude, this was so good. I love that they keep giving Iconic Duo like little segments like these because they keep killing it. I feel like unlike Fashion Police over on SmackDown, like the Iconic Duo hasn't been played out yet for me, not even close. I still think there's so much for them to do. And yeah, this is just a fun.
Well, yeah, I mean, they still haven't held NXT Gold. Obviously, they need to have a title reign before we can say that the wells one run dry.
Exactly. And I can't, you know what? Honestly, I see you, NXT. I see the blatant favoritism for Peyton Royce because she just has a triple threat. But then when Billie Kay's like, so I get my turn too, right? Oh, of course you do. But it's a battle royal. Have fun. Like, dickweeds, the whole lot of you.
Hey, man, I'm telling you, Peyton is the better prospect. Peyton is a good 4 years younger than Billie. Peyton is a little bit better in the ring, a little bit more animated, a little bit better talker. She's just a better prospect. It makes sense.
I mean, look, it's not that you're wrong. It's just you don't have to be a dick about it. like you know, just give Billie Kay a triple threat match like everybody else. But yeah, the battle royal should be interesting. I can't believe that Regal did that. They even complimented him on his fashion sense. They're like, that eggplant color looks great on you. Now,
that's right. Yeah, they did. And you know what? They drew attention to something that I actually ended up agreeing with.
Right? And this is how you pay him back. Like, oh, battle royal. Shame on you, Regal. Shame on you.
But he didn't ban Peyton from ringside, so maybe that's his way of being generous.
Touche. All right, well, this is a great segment, but I got nothing more to say about it. What came after this?
We got our second match of the night, Raul Mendoza versus Aleister Black.
What'd you think of this, brother?
Well, before the match really gets underway, and granted the bell had rung, but Velveteen Dream shows up, and he puts on Aleister Black's vest.
Yeah, Velveteen Dream, man. That child just escalating the antics to get attention. And, you know, Aleister's just kind of looking at him, you know, pretty amused, like, oh, you know, really, we're really doing this. And Raul, you know, given that he hasn't really won anything yet in NXT, he's like, oh my God, this is my chance. And he tries to get the jump on Aleister Black. And Raul Mendoza gets some nice offense in here. You know, even a dive to the outside that when Nigel asked Mauro, what do you call that? He said, I call that spectacular. Which I think is far better than Michael Cole just being like, wow, or oh my.
Oh my.
And despite Raul's flurry, though, it doesn't take long for Aleister Black to hit Black Mass. I still adore this fucking character. That moonsault he does, too, and that pose he did after that was badass as fuck. This is a guy that, to me, could come up to the main roster tomorrow. I could see him kicking Jinder's head off and just taking that WWE title in no time, but he's still in NXT. He sits Indian style in the ring, and then Velveteen Dream continues his Destiny's Child audition because he says, say my name. Say my name, and it doesn't happen, and then he walks to the back.
Say, baby, I love you. Sorry, go ahead.
You're really doing this now. That's amazing.
I'm not doing anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's like you're the weirdo.
Yeah.
But yeah, Velveteen Dream's almost like whatever. But what I loved about this, as soon as Velveteen Dream's out of view, Aleister Black does look back.
I know,
Does
just the
look
quick
over.
glance. That was so cool. Oh,
Yeah, these two have been so good in their roles. Like we praise
yeah.
Aleister Black every chance we get, and he deserves it, and he continues to earn it because I love that he did it after Velveteen Dream left, so that we're let in on the fact that he's starting to wear him down just a little bit, but Velveteen Dream still doesn't know it, so he's going to escalate and do something even bigger next time. And
I
Velveteen
don't know,
Dream,
man. If Velveteen Dream watches the program, he could see that Alistair did look his way.
yeah, that's true. That's true. So what are you thinking about all this, man? You still think you're still like fully invested in the feud? Because I still can't wait for these guys to get in the ring together. I
Yeah, I
think
was
it'll
gonna
be
say
great.
I'm just so excited about the prospect of these guys actually having a match with each other, you know?
Yeah, man, absolutely. I think the story has been great, and it seems like so simple, and it's just been done so well that yeah, I mean, credit to the guys involved for sure. And Alistair wins, but I mean, the war is still up for grabs because Velveteen Dream, man, he's starting to get his claws in there a little bit. So I love this. This was great. Definitely another high point of the show that was non wrestling related, and of course, it comes from these two because I feel like the last few episodes where this feud has been a talking point. We've always just said that as far as non-wrestling segments go, these guys are doing incredible work. So unless you have anything else you want to say, we can move on.
All right. Unfortunately, there wasn't a whole lot else that happened on this show. This was kind of the point where it went from eventful to coasting. Because up next we got a Christy St. Cloud interview with Drew McIntyre, and he did. I mean, don't get me wrong. This interview was great, but it didn't really develop anything new. Although I guess you could say it did. I feel like it more led to something that will develop new than actually developing something new in and of itself. So Drew talks about the day that he was released from WWE and how it basically just relit a fire in him, and it kind of snapped him out of something that he didn't even know he was in. And then they talk about how, oh well, Drew's whole goal is to just inspire people, and he says, yeah, that's, I want to inspire. If you have a dream and you want to, even if it's not in wrestling, you need to keep chasing it. But then Zelina Vega shows up, and she kind of takes over the interview in place of Christy and says, Drew, you and Andrade have a lot in common. And then she asks why Drew has been avoiding Andrade. And Drew tells her that he'll fight anyone, anywhere, at any time. He actually says that 3 times or 2 times at least in this. And that if Andrade really does want this title match, that he should come to me and say it himself rather than having her say it to him.
First of all, kind of working backwards here on my end. I love the interaction between Zelina Vega and Drew. You guys know what a huge fucking mark I am for Andrade Cien Almas. Like I've said repeatedly, it's really him and Hideo holding down the NXT product for me as far as my sheer markdom goes. I adore those guys, and Andrade's so good, and I'm really glad he's getting this push. But I will say too, something that I've noticed about NXT, which I mean is a huge compliment to them, because, we were even saying with our Lucha Underground reviews, like WWE is looking for their next great babyface, their next great star, and it just, they haven't found it, because Roman Reigns, I mean, we see the reactions he gets. NXT really knows how to get the babyface they want for the moment that they're in, and I think the key to that is really them just being honest and being vulnerable in a very real way. With Roderick, when Roderick was getting his mini push, we got to look inside of his life, inside of his upbringing, how hard it was. Now I'm a father. Now I've got a beautiful wife, a son I need to support. With Drew is something very similar. I go home, I look my wife in the eyes, I tell her that I'm not going, that I'm no longer working with WWE, and the first thing she asks me is, "Are we going to be okay?" And, like in that moment, just something happened to me. I got my fire back. I said, we're going to be fine. And it was just me plying my craft. I really appreciate that with NXT, when it seems to be handling their baby faces, it's not this overly scripted stuff. I think it's just, just be honest in a way about your journey, but of course, just be honest in a way that we can work with, to further angles or this and that. And I feel like it's a working formula right now. Will it always work? I mean, that remains to be seen. But I think for Roderick with his mini push and now Drew here, it's really worked out quite well to make these guys relatable while not losing what makes them larger than life. Because I can still look at Drew and I can still say he has star written all over him, but now I can also say that he's a star that maybe goes through things that I go through, or that I know somebody else that's gone through something similar. And I really like that. It's relatability without trying too hard to me. And it's something I've noticed NXT can be quite good at when they want to be. And that's the one big thing I wanted to point out with this. I really quite enjoyed Drew talking about what leaving meant to him and his family. And then, of course, Zelina Vega coming in, knowing what an Andrade mark I am, just really got me licking my chops for the future, because I think some good shit's really about to happen. Do you have anything you want to say about this? Like what you thought of any of this, or?
No, I don't really think so. Like I said, man, I'm more excited about the prospect of a face-to-face between Drew and Andrade.
Yeah.
You know, Zelina showing up and talking shit.
And yeah, I mean, Drew essentially said the same, like, oh, next time, get Andrade here, let him freaking do it. And, I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Because he had those matches.
It's like a mom applying for a job for their kid, and then the freaking employer is just like, your son should really be doing this, not you.
Yeah, exactly. I love how you have that, like, sighing quality to your voice, too. Like, man.
Like, come on. Like, snap into reality, guys. That you be an adult, goddammit. Andrade.
Yeah, like, ma'am, your son should be doing this, right? No, I love him. He can't. I have to do it. It's like, all right, god damn it. But yeah, this was fine. I can't wait to see how this develops, because really, we know how Regal operates in NXT. Nobody really gets handed anything. So I wonder if they're really going to pull the trigger on Andrade. Is he going to win a #1 contenders match? Like, how are they going to get him there? And that's really exciting, especially considering that last night was the end of the greatest world championship reign in history, Johnny Mundo's world title reign. So I'm looking to the next big thing, baby. Andrade Cien Almas as NXT champion. I need that fix. So really excited for that feud. But in the meantime, that's all I have to say about this. We can move on.
All right, man. Well, after this, we had our third match of the night, and it was Cassius Ohno versus Cesar Bononi. I don't really have much to say about this. It was all right. It wasn't really eventful, but Ohno ended up winning with a rolling elbow as expected. And yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I really agree with you. Really nothing much to say. I mean, really, and I know it sounds really petty, but this match made me miss Hideo, because I know he just got done working with Ohno, and seeing Ohno win, I'm like, damn, I wonder when we're going to see Hideo again, because, like, I'm really missing him. And, yeah, I wonder what Ono's going to do next as well, because, I mean, I do like Ohno. It's not that I'm just, like, bland on him. I just think he can do better than what he's been doing, and I know Raul Mendoza, like, they want to do something with him, so he's, like, working with these higher quality talents and, like, probably doing the story of he gets a little better each time kind of thing, which is fine, because I don't even think Cesar is bad. I called him Raw before. I was thinking about the Raw Mendoza match. I apologize. But Cesar Bononi, I do think, there could be something there. So I'm not even hating on him either. It was just a match, really, is what it comes down to. Nothing really too big to take away from it. And yeah, I guess we can move on.
All right, man. Well, final match of the night, then, the Undisputed Era versus Sanity. And again, this is kind of another one of those cases where it was okay. It was solid. There wasn't anything great about it. It didn't really get a chance to get into that extra gear. And it just, it led to a moment, but the moment wasn't exceptional or anything like that. It just kind of happened.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Really, the most concerning part of the match was when they felt the need to corner Adam Cole like he's some kind of animal.
Like, I know.
I know. Right?
Adam Cole was in this match, but he never even got into the match. Like, what the hell, man? I feel robbed.
You feel robbed, and
that's my heat of the night, is that Adam Cole was in this match and never even got into the damn match.
I know, right? You don't just have Adam Cole on your product and then not use him the way that he deserves to be used.
That's right.
Justice, goddammit.
Exactly.
And then, not only does he not get in the match, so then what did he do to offend? Because he didn't even make any tags or anything. And then they all feel the need to corner him. Oh, let's pick on Adam Cole 1-on-3, because that makes you tough, guys. You're real Billy badasses, let me tell you. And then poor Adam, who's probably feeling claustrophobic for his life, Killian Dane with his greasy, disgusting fingers grabs Adam Cole by the hair, tosses him back into the ring, and then it seems like certain destruction is going to come Cole's way, which would mean that humanity loses, because that's what happens when hardship comes Adam Cole's way. When Authors of Pain, their music hits, they're back, and they reassert their dominance in a major way, laying out Sanity, while the Undisputed Era looks on like, man, I am so glad that's not us right now. And yeah, that's pretty much how NXT ends, with the Authors of Pain holding up the tag titles. And I guess it does, in a way, kind of generate interest in the tag division, because Bobby Fish and O'Reilly want the tag titles. Authors of Pain have yet to get their rematch, and Sanity are the champions. It could be a lot of fun, but I'm still sitting here anticipating the Dusty Rhodes Sighting Classic. Like, that's what I'm looking forward to most in the tag division. To me, I look at this as kind of a speed bump, if I'm really being truthful with our audience. Not a bad speed bump, mind you, but, speed bump nonetheless. And yeah, I guess we'll see who comes out on top in that struggle. But yeah, this was a serviceable main event, but nothing that I felt like really furthered anything outside of, again, the tag division, which isn't a bad thing. It's just, we're not really like, what's Adam Cole going to do? What's his place in all this? So yeah, I guess it was fine for what it was, but that's the best I could say about it. Is there anything you want to add before we get into our next segment?
No, sir. Let's get into it.
All right, high spots and low shots. I'm going to say my low shot's Ruby Riott, because you ate the pin tonight in your triple threat qualifying match. And once again, at Ember Moon's expense. So, not going to NXT TakeOver War Games for the NXT Women's Championship. And yeah, just, she loses, and yet we're not rioting, because it's when you win, we riot. So I'm waiting to riot. You're waiting to riot. And it just didn't happen tonight. So Ruby Riott's my low shot. Who's your low shot?
Oh man, I mean, I don't think it's necessarily fair for Ruby Riott. Although I do, it's unfortunate that she ended up eating the pin. I didn't really understand that decision. Like, they're trying to protect Sonya more than Ruby Riott. Like, what? I don't get that at all. As far as my low shot goes, oh man, I mean, it's a tough call, but I think I'm gonna have to just give it to Sanity, because they had the Undisputed Era on the ropes, and then the Authors of Pain not only ruined that, but they beat the shit out of Sanity as well. So Sanity is going to take my low shot for the night.
Completely understandable. I'm going to say my honorary high spot is Andrade Cien Almas, because your representation is so freaking good that you might be in the running for an NXT title shot, and you didn't even have to do anything tonight, because your management, your representation just knows how to get after it. That's why I love Zelina as a character. It's not really Andrade leading the charge. He really is that go-getter type, and it's been working out. As far as the actual high spot, like, there are so many good choices you could make tonight, but I don't want to go with the obvious route. I like being a bit more playful these days. You know what? I'm going to say my high spot is the Iconic Duo, because they made me smile and laugh after, like, I felt like Ultima Lucha Trace took all the, like, great emotions from me. Like, I even told you, I still feel like I've got that Ultima Lucha Trace kind of lag, because that show was so good that I didn't really know, like, if I'd have anything to give for this NXT. But they made me smile. I still think they're one of the most underappreciated things going in NXT, and I only say that because I feel like NXT really hasn't fully committed to them.
I was going to say, I think fans have fully embraced the Iconic Duo. The only place that really does underappreciate them is their goddamn employer.
Exactly, and that's really what I'm driving at, because I know the fans are behind them for sure. I don't mean it like that, but I think management really doesn't know what they have in these two, which is really sad. I mean, did you see?
I think you'd be surprised at how many people don't realize that Billie Kay is a really freaking good in-ring worker. Like, I think that the public perception of these two is that Peyton Royce is the star, Billie Kay is green as goose shit and can't work with hell. And like, it's completely wrong. Like, there is such a small difference between these two in the ring. They're really, really similar. Like, yes, I will concede Peyton is probably the better of the two in the ring, but I think that the only reason that people have that perception is because, oh my God, her fisherman suplex has such a beautiful bridge. It's like the Alicia Fox effect. You do one cool move and people think you're amazing in the ring.
Yeah,
like, Peyton is really good in the ring, but so is Billie. Like, she's really good in the ring too, and people don't realize it yet. So it's like a matter of time before she kind of gets that moment, like what Peyton got in the big four-way with Asuka at NXT TakeOver a few months ago.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'll even say, because I've never said that like Billie Kay like sucks or anything, but I would even count myself among the people that don't know just how good she is. Like, I know she's good, but even I'm probably underestimating her to a degree, and I'm waiting for her to get that match as well, where she just comes out guns blazing and shows us what she's about. That's why I'm really rooting for her in the Battle Royal next week, because Regal did say it would be next week, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah, yeah.
okay. Because I know again Gargano and Eichner, that's 2 weeks. But yeah, these guys to me, they made me smile. I love them. I don't think their employer, again, to your point, really knows what they have in them, but we do, God damn it. So I'm giving them my high spot. Who's your high spot?
My high spot, well, I mean, naturally, Adam Cole was on this show, so he's my actual high spot. But my consolation high spot, the high spot that I give to someone other than Adam Cole for these shows, is going to have to go to Ember Moon for winning that third spot in the NXT Takeover Houston Women's Championship match.
Yeah, I love it. Amazing women's acts in NXT, really taking control of our high spots this week. I mean, I agree with you. It's very straightforward, makes all the sense in the world. Ember Moon getting another opportunity at the NXT Women's Championship. I wonder if that's part of a greater narrative, because she's really been chasing that title with more gusto than I remember most women doing in the history.
I think the greater
title.
narrative is Ember Moon wants the Women's Championship.
Yeah, hey, I mean that's straightforward enough. It's crazy to me that she's like already back in the hunt, because again, I think about the history of that title, and I can't remember the last time anybody was really able to make such an aggressive pursuit. Will this be the time? We'll see at NXT Takeover War Games. Which, speaking of which, one final thing about the iconic duo: did you see that little video between Peyton Royce and Johnny Gargano? Or no? Did you not see it?
Which one? Well, there are a shit ton of them. So which one are you referring to?
I feel like it should have been the most recent one, unless even more have come out that I didn't know about. But Peyton Royce was promoting NXT TakeOver War Games, and Johnny Gargano comes into frame, and she
and Johnny picked, I think, didn't he pick Kyrie to win?
Yeah, Kyrie because of the elbow, and then Peyton just shoves him out of the frame.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, they have so many. Like, Billy and Peyton are just constantly picking on him and Hideo on the road. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I know they did the same to Shinsuke when he was still with them. Like, I love iconic duo, man. Just interact with everybody.
They need to just have like a 15-minute show on the WWE Network.
I would watch it. Hell, you'd get my subscription back for that show. But
I would watch it, but not on the network.
Yeah, there you go. But
I would find places that upload it and watch it there.
There you go. But like, oh, she does the elbow, right? Yep. And I do the So yeah, we'll see if the can get the NXT Women's Championship. But in the meantime,
God, they're so good. Just talking about them puts a smile on my face, man.
Right though.
I think the iconic duo are for me what Kyrie is for you.
I know, right? Oh God, Kyrie. Oh God, so good. Do you have any concluding remarks about NXT this week?
No, I don't think so. Let's just close it out, man. This was fun, though. I'm glad this ended up, even though the episode wasn't anything spectacular, we still ended up managing to get a smile on my face. So,
hooray! All right, guys. Well, that smile's still there. This has been NXT. This has been TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans by wrestling fans on the web today. I'm John. That's my co-ordinator commentation. Guys, be sure to comment, subscribe, and like the video. The more likes you leave, the more likely we are to be the top search result for NXT reviews on YouTube. And when you're the best at what you do, the top is the only place that you belong. So please leave that like. Guys, all of the media that TWitWoW is associated with is in the description box, from our separate Twitter handles all the way to the TWitWoW Facebook. It's all right there for you to check out. Very quickly, want to plug the Teespring. We got the Braun Strowman "I'm not finished with you" t-shirt and the Emma t-shirt, the real face of the women's revolution. Why? Because WWE Shop sucks too much to give her a t-shirt. I mean, hell, all due respect to Alicia Fox, she got a t-shirt before.
I was just gonna say, yeah, Alicia Fox complained about not having a t-shirt and got one immediately. Emma has been putting in her damn work and actually putting on amazing matches pretty consistently when she gets the opportunity. for how long now? Maybe not as long as Alicia Fox has been in the company, but she's definitely been an amazing wrestler for a hell of a lot longer than Alicia Fox has been. And yeah, still no shirt. But if you want an Emma shirt, if you want to get a shirt that represents everything that Emma represents, hashtag revolution, people. It's the real face of the hashtag revolution.
Exactly, and you can get it at the Teespring store. There's also Scum Squad inspired merch. We got Kevin Owens inspired merch because he's a father, damn it! And so yeah, we got quite an array of just t-shirts and mugs and stickers and just everything you could think of at the Teespring store. And of course, the big plug, guys, the Patreon. You know the big goal for TWitWoW on Patreon. We want to start doing Progress Live reactions. We are so close, guys. We are sitting at $102. The goal's $120 to do Progress Live reactions. So, you know, if there's anybody that hasn't joined the Discord yet, that's only $3 a month. $3 a month for the most intimate experience the TWitWoW fan base can have with myself and my cohort and commentary here, because you get to talk with us while we're watching Raw, while we're watching SmackDown. Hell, even when those programs aren't on. I know there's a general tab on the Discord. You can find like Ashton talking with people like about, you know, certain games or this thing or that thing.
We were actually just talking today about a Twitter beef going on with one of our current TWitWoW fans.
Okay. So, you know, sometimes I know I popped in the general chat talking about a tattoo that I'm hoping to get, you know, maybe next year, thinking about branching out, getting more radical with my life there. So you never know.
And here's the funny thing too is like they donate $3 a month and it basically acts like $9 because it's $3 that buys you access to the Discord. But that same $3 can also accumulate every month and eventually be able to buy you the ability to request a live reaction or live reaction review video from us to a wrestling show of your choosing. And those $3 get tossed into a big pot that everyone else is tossing their money into. And if we get to $120 a month in that pot, John and I start reacting to Progress. So your $3 gets to buy you 3 different things worth $3. So you're basically tripling your money by donating to TWitWoW.
I call it the win-win-win-win. I added the 4th win because of Progress, which is an amazing promotion based in the UK, which I love because, you know, the name of the show is TWitWoW, which stands for This Week in the World of Wrestling. And as I said last night to close out the Lucha Underground review of the Season 3 finale, the wrestling world is a beautiful, brilliant place outside of the WWE monopoly, and we want to explore more of it. And we would love your help in exploring more of it because I think everybody wins in that scenario. So if you haven't donated yet, please consider doing so. With that said, guys, I'm going to let you guys get out of here. Just want to plug again very quickly tomorrow. TLC preview and predictions. Raw actually seems to have a decent card on paper here. Me and Ashton are going to break it down, give our thoughts on the main event. And as I teased last night when we did our Ultimate Lucha Trace Night 4 review, I'm already putting the credibility I gained with the Sami Zayn heel turn at Hell in a Cell at stake. I have another kind of out there prediction that'll probably be wrong, but what is John thinking of this time? You'll have to tune in tomorrow to find out. We'll be going live at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys can do the math for the rest. And then, of course, in the future, a week from today, we are going to be doing TWitWoW Q&A. So you guys have 1 week remaining to get your questions in. I know sometime next week I'll probably start recording them and get them over to Ashton. And James, if you're hearing this, I haven't forgotten about your questions either. But if you haven't submitted Q&A questions yet, you guys know how it works. Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Discord. Any of those mediums would be a great place to submit Q&A questions. 4 questions per Q&A, divvied up however you want between Ashton and myself. Get your questions in, guys. All right, that's it. That's all I'm going to lecture you guys about. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 9 p.m. for TLC preview and predictions. Until then, tune in and peace out.